quick. I love Instagram. Well, I think these things record, so I'm just going to get started because today, hi, I'm Dr. Princess-Odilia. In case you found this video not on my page. So, my name is Dr. Princess-Odilia, and I am the author of the book Pregnant in the Spirit, How to Birth a Life of True Purpose, and soon to be releasing a few other titles. One of those titles happened to be Convos with God. Make it make sense, please. So, out of that book, there's a whole lot that has been birthed as a result of some experiences that I have just healed from and actually have evolved. And as my calling is to help billions to reach their life's true purpose, hey, I got to go through some things, all right? It's some things you got to go through so that I can help you. And how can I help you if I have not gone through? Okay? So, something that I've also shared recently is something that was very surprising to me, as one of the things that I had experienced, which was an attack to the mind. And if you know anything about transformation, as my mantra is transformation, it is so. All around the world is transformation, it is so. Transformation, it is so. Well, with that mission being so powerful and fruitful, what is very important to keep in mind is the power of the mind. Because in the journey, as I speak about the journey as the process of spiritual pregnancy in my book, Pregnant in the Spirit, How to Birth a Life of True Purpose, available on Amazon, it is very important for you to be able to go with the flow and to follow, i.e., following the Spirit as you go, okay? Being willing to be guided despite any type of perspective, old perspective, any type of bondage, anything that would keep you from really listening and following the direction that God will give you, okay? So sometimes, oftentimes, especially since we have been caught up in a particular era before this new century, we have been just used to doing things a certain kind of way, right? We have been used to operating with God in a certain type of way. In fact, the God, as we've operated with God, it's, in many ways, God said, I'm a lot different. Basically, I'm a lot more fun, right? God said, I created this life for you to have fun. I created, said I'll use a name like you guys. You guys have football and basketball and soccer and lacrosse, and I created the game called life. So, this came to me, and I am an author, I'm a singer, songwriter as well, too. I'm a prolific, intuitive artist, okay? So I get downloads, and I've been talking to God. I talk to God more than I do man. And I've been really in this space of seclusion between God and I. And in this space, it has been very, very intimate. I mean, extremely intimate. Intimate to the point of me finding out so many great new things about God that I just didn't know. And especially as a woke, conscious, highly intuitive, chosen one, I am honored to be able to guide billions to the light, billions to the truth, to true happiness, right? To true love, to being shown the little nuggets that we need to know so that we can have a true understanding of what love truly is. So I wasn't supposed to talk so much, all right? Because this is not about me. This is about the letter. God has a letter from us. From God to all of us. So, I'm going to go on every solitary platform and I'm going to read this letter. And it's a letter to us, and then there's also a letter to the leaders of the church. And this is in reference to what we need to know as we embark on a new century's era, as we embark on the opportunity to really do it God's way. That's without all the war, without all the crime, right? Without all of the division, without us worrying about things that don't matter. You know, can we please get in the game and get off the benches, okay? Can we get in the game called life and get on the playing field in the position that we're supposed to be on? Hello? All right. So what I'm going to do is start reading. Okay, so this is from my latest book. I will be posting all the information. The marketing material will be out soon. Combos with God, make it make sense, please. And yeah, so here we go. All right. A love note from God. I'm not who they said I am. I was gaslit centuries ago. Will you at least consider my version so that I can bond with you and you with me without all of the space between us that has been cluttered with fear and mental bondage? I love you and desire so much for you to be free with me. No bars, no chains, no domination, condemnation, but real freedom and true love. I'm not a mirage, and I won't confuse you. I will always make it make sense. So, will you consider spending time with me so that you can get to know who I am for real? Will you at least consider your freedom with me? I promise you, I'm not who they told you I was. Maybe we could start small, just 5 minutes a day, alone time together, before you get about your day. A few intentional breaths can go a long way. Before you know it, life will just begin to flow with such awesome synchronicity. You will realize profound peace, clarity, happiness along the way as you enjoy the experience of life's balance as our desires become one. I don't want you to fear me. Then we can't be free. I'm going to move over a little bit because I want you guys to see the water and as I'm reading this so that you can have like kind of a view, and I can't move too much with this thing because I left the appropriate stand in the car. So don't worry about it. Okay, so can you consider letting go what you know so that you can come to know the truth? I would appreciate it so much, and I do look forward to you and I spending time alone. If you would consider, eventually our hearts will beat as one. From both dimensions, in spirit and in flesh, you will begin to experience freely life and all of its profound results. And boy, oh boy, what a joy for you that will be. You will be much closer to me, for out of respect, I meet you where you are, while always knowing that you had no clue of who I truly am. So I am excited. So I am excited to introduce myself to you so that the idea of me, which was nothing shy from a good slave master, and which there is nothing favorable about that, but for the opportunity of growth to discover that there was nothing favorable of that, and that point only again and again. I have never issued or visioned there to be a penalty or else if you didn't choose a relationship with me. I gave you free will to make choices and to experience life and all of its profound results. Life is energy that you experience in many different ways, and it was meant to be fun, engaging, fruitful, and for however long you do desire. Karmic cycles were created as a result of the wedge that was built between us and drew you further and further away from me. Those who desired to control created scenarios and altered stories to fit the model they wanted to realize. Yes, there are truths that still remain, but the versions they shared of my stories were contrary to the truth. They manipulated small words and phrases and manipulated humankind using fear-based tactics that would convince you that adding or subtracting from their version would suffer such consequence as hell, fire, and brimstone. So who would dare question? But in the end, my children will return home to me. Yes, it has been a very long time, but now is the time for you to know who God is for real. Yes, it is time for you to know what love truly is. It is a wonder that there are so many failed relationships, marriages, and wars. Look at the perspective of God you look up to. You have no idea of true love. This is a new century era, the great awakening of humankind, and my coming out party. And then, God is very personal with us, and it was like a nice little, I hope that doesn't fall. I want you guys, okay, I'm trying to create an ambiance here in the dark. Come on. Oh, shoot. Okay, here we go. Did that go? Oh, perfect. Perfect. Okay. In a minute, okay. All right, here we go. So, before I let you go, I'd like you to answer the following questions in your leisure. And this is what God is asking of the audience, of the world, okay? How well do you understand gaslighting? Have you ever been gaslit? Do you have knowledge of the gaslighting experience, the manipulation, the plot? Can you imagine the confusion gaslighters start while portraying sincerity, love, and concern to their convinced audience, while mentally abusing the one or ones who are gaslit? The versions told by the manipulative gaslighters are always contrary to the truth. So, if your answer is yes, then you can't help but relate. So, you are way closer to accepting my invitation to hearing my version of who I am and allowing me to introduce myself. God further goes on to say, if you haven't experienced or do not have knowledge of gaslighting, have been solid for quite some time, indoctrinated, then I know you may find this almost blasphemous. I get it, and will honor your wish to leave you be. For my vow to me, when I created the vision of you, was for you to be totally free, to experience life and all of its profound results. And I chose then to trust the process of your personal human evolution to reunite us in the perfect time. So, it is clear that maybe not in this lifetime, but the next, as I know that my vision of you, one with me, will be soon enough again. By then, you would have come into the realization of your life's true purpose, clarity on the game called life, called life's playing field, and sequential, majestic, free flow with the direction of your soul's energy. My voice you will have come to know clearly, and the baggage you will have none, for your soul would have evolved. I've waited all of this time and understand that although there are many more conscious beings than there were 5 years ago, there are billions of you still searching to make sense of a confused situation that you've never been able to make sense of, if you're honest. But rather to suffer a burning hell or disappoint me, you followed the plan and version of me that had you scared of me, fighting wars, judging one another, creating rules on top of rules, accusing me of things I wouldn't fathom, and quite frankly, incapable of certain intentions towards you, as my vision for you was a complete opposite. I tell you this, I am the highest level of consciousness. I am your source, and you are just like me. With the exception of the way you think as spirit. So I ask again, will you at least consider to get to know me? If I were to give a final word read about gaslighting, look up the word crime and go past the first definition with a smile. I look forward to spending some quiet time with you soon, where then you will get to know the real me. From my heart to yours, I send you pure and free-flowing love. Signed, your source energy, God. Okay, so, all right, first of all, it's getting dark out here. All right, so that's the message, and I am just guided to just keep going with that part because it's so touching to me, and it's so just, it's loving. God said to me before, like, the most difficult thing that people are going to have, that I'm going to find, is that, and he's going to find, God is spirit, though, but I call God Daddy, my Father, as we all do, many of us do. The Most High said they're going to have a hard time accepting my freedom. That's going to be the deal breaker right there for a lot of people. And every time I think about that, I think about, what's her name? The movie with Harriet Tubman. I think about her. I think about when she was trying to free her sister from the plantations. She went through hell to go back to get her from the plantations. And instead of accepting freedom, she had to honor her sister's wish to leave her there because her sister said, basically, in today's terminology, I'm good, baby. But she said, Master, treat me good. You see? So there's a lot that we don't know that God wants us to get to know. And I think, hey, I got God's back. I didn't read this message as it was channeled to me a couple months ago. And it's been a very strong mandate for me to get it out like right now, so I'm going to be obedient. But I did it months ago. And it wasn't until, I don't know, last week or earlier this week that I actually read it. And I read it, and for the first time, all the way through. And I just wept about it because, geez, wow, like, if you haven't been gaslit before, you don't know anything about it. I also invite you to go to theclarissashow.com and go to the monologues and songs section there, and you can explore in character, actually, the discussion of the human evolution is season 1, the evolution of Clarissa. And you can check out the True Purpose Development Show on gaslighting. You can go to the True Purpose Development Show on Blog Talk Radio as well, and check out that show. about gaslighting so that you can familiarize yourself with what happens when a person is gaslit. And for God to have experienced this, and I mean, God knows what God knows. But God is saying, hey, look, it's time out, baby. It's time for me to reign. It's good. But God had to wait for such a time as this because there are enough people woke and there are enough people in position for really us coming into what seems to be completely impossible, and that is a world literally full of happiness, peace on earth, for real. Like some people may say that's not possible. I say, well, yes, it is. I pioneered and have been a leader of the movement to transformation, and I've been telling you, even in Detroit, we did oh man. Have you seen Detroit? The vision that we put in place, well, hey, look, it talk about happening. Hell, you can't even get a property downtown. Probably under $500,000. Good luck. Before I go. All right, y'all. Thanks for sitting with me at the lake. For that little short reading. Okay, there we go. All right. I don't know okay. So anyways, thank you for sitting there with me. I'm going to put something here. Well, maybe I just don't need to. Okay. All right. Thank you on this Friday night for sitting there with me, and God thanks you for listening and for giving some thought. Okay. I want to encourage everybody as you embark on this possibility. I'll share what happened to me when it was some years ago. I had someone tell me that I didn't know God. That God said that I was basing the knowledge that I had of God off of my past experiences. And I was kind of offended, and because they were trying to say that I didn't know God. I'm like, what you talking about? I don't know God. Man, please. I wrote the book, I know God. Well, it wasn't for, I don't know, it was like a few weeks or so that went by. And those few weeks went by, and it just hit me one day. I was riding down the road, and I said, you know what, God, if I don't know you, show me you. That was the question I asked. If I don't know you, show me you. And that one question, I will say, launched me. It catapulted me into my last journey, my third journey in this lifetime to a mountaintop. Okay. And about a mile down the road, I remember having this, it's hot. It is hot outside. It's about to rain. Me turn my air on. But I remember going about a mile down the road, and about a mile down the road, I see this like image in my mind. It was a cool guy and had a little cap on and, well, actually a dives, not a cap, had a dives on and had this distinguished cross leg. And I heard, I'm a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'm like, oh, isn't that cute? I'm like, okay. So I submitted to the process of whatever that process was. I'm like, okay. But that opened up the door for an opportunity for me to say that I don't know everything. Because one thing we have to know for sure, and I will tell you this, I'm an author. So I'm going to say, when it comes to writing, authors write from their current perspective. And we have to respect that. There's no diss on the Most High. Absolutely not. This is like speaking up for the Most High. This is like standing up and saying, you know what? Well, I mean, if I don't know you, then show me you. Because if you are a victim of being gaslit, where it has you, anything that has you in a headspace that you are bound or you don't feel free, I mean totally free. God said, I didn't want you guys to just be free naturally. I want you to be free spiritually. I want you to be free in the mind. I mean, half of you guys can't even serve me because why? How? You can't, because of what you think or your perspective of the knowledge that you have of me. You can't even imagine who I am. So the best way to do it, and what we must do, is get in alignment. And how do you do that? Just like it's written in scripturally. Meditate day in and day out. I don't know the exact scriptures, so don't quote. But I know it's like meditate day in, day out, something like that. Y'all, I'm trying to put this up there. Okay. You know what? I don't know how. But yeah, meditate day in and day out. And I don't have a stand in here. But anyways, I wanted to drive, but I guess I'm not going to drive. Okay, so meditate day in and day out. And it says go into your secret closet. So the secret closet is the mind. Meditate day in, day out is very, very important. And as a matter of fact, because it's so important, I know sometimes people don't listen to the whole video. You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to hang up, and then I'm going to get back live again. I think I can do that. I don't know. I've never done this whole Instagram thing. I'm new at all the live stuff, you know? I'm new at all this stuff. But give me a minute. I'm going to come right back because I got to tell you guys something. It is so important for you to meditate when you first wake up. It is so important for you to meditate when you first wake up. I'll be right back. Okay? I love you guys. And share it. Remember, the question is, if I don't know you, show me you. Okay? I'll be back. And okay.